State's season-long trip has been full of dramatics, and the MVP has done it all to keep the perfect season alive. Tonight, the Dubs swing into Brooklyn, where a former teammate dealt out some serious heartbreak during their last visit. The Warriors seek to extend the streak right now. The corners of Flatbush and Atlantic Avenue. The next stop on the Warrior road trip. Brooklyn in the house. The world champs are in the house. And the MVP is in NYC. Steph Curry and the undefeated Warriors look to make history one more time. Keep the perfect season alive as they take on the Nets tonight. Hello, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald alongside Jim Barnett. And the Warriors have captivated the nation right now. It's about time we come to the media capital of the world. The buzz for the Warriors in this building has been really something we haven't seen on the trip yet.
Well, they just get the hearts and minds of everybody wherever they go. But conventional wisdom would say, aren't they due to lose a game? They've won 21 straight. But this team wants nothing to do with that. They look at each game as a win, so why not keep it going?
The road trip takes on a life of its own, and for Klay Thompson, he's playing his best basketball of the season. The shooting, the scoring, and the defense last night against Toronto.
Well, don't forget, he was an all-star last year, and they need this scoring with the absence of Harrison Barnes. But I love his defense because he can lock up terrific scores as he did last night against DeMar DeRozan.
The Warriors get a bit of good news. Andrew Bogut will play. Jim mentioned Harrison Barnes, Draymond, Klay, Bogut. The Warriors will get you to a certain point in the game, and then Steph Curry will take over and make sure you win every game. On this road trip, whether it's the last-second shots against Utah or the incredible third quarter in Charlotte, where he put up 28 in the final 24 of the third, Curry is doing things we've never seen. With the game on the line, he's the man to decide it.
Well, he does not shy away from the moment. He wants the ball in his hands. He wants to take the big shot, and he's been doing that on this road trip. Stephen Curry is writing history, rewriting history with his three-point shooting this year. And Luke Walton gives him carte blanche to shoot the ball anywhere, at any time, from any distance. And what it does, he draws defenders. It helps everybody else with their offense, spreading the court out, opportunities for other Warriors players. This three-point line, it seems like it was just made for him.
Well, you think about it, the home run was defined by Babe Ruth. The three-point line is being defined by Steph Curry. He's going to own every record there is when it's all said and done. The league and the sport have never seen a shooter like him from distance. But you play the Brooklyn Nets, a team that took the Warriors to overtime in Oracle. You know Jarrett Jack and Brook Lopez love to play against the Dubs. The point guard matchup, the battle of the big men. Do the Warriors sustain their first loss, or does the perfect season live on? Coz and the guys back in the studio right after this.
All right, the Warriors continue the road show. Remember, a 7-game roadie. They're trying to take that big old bite out of the apple, this time on the Brooklyn side of that bridge, as they get ready to take on the Nets. We get it ready as the Warriors go for win number 22 in a row to start the season. Saint and Monty are here. What's the key tonight, Saint? What do you see?
Well, we've got Festus now coming off the bench again, and hopefully he's going to be a catalyst for that group. They need more productivity tonight on a back-to-back game because, as we noted before, Draymond, Steph, and Klay played a lot of minutes, so they're going to be big tonight.
Monty?
Looking for Klay to come up and do something big. He's been playing really well tonight, and I think they'll have a guy who can't guard him tonight. So
that'll be interesting to see if he can continue it. 3 games with 20 or more on this road swing. We'll see if it continues against the Brooklyn Nets. But Fitz pointed out, Jarrett Jack is there, Brook Lopez, they like it. Fitz, JB, and Roz are coming next.
It's time for tip-off. Here's Fitz and JB.
The MVP bringing us back to the Barclays Center, where the Warriors take on the Nets. And the Nets, the only team to get the Warriors beyond regulation this year. And that point guard matchup with Jarrett Jack and Steph Curry is always one to pay attention to. Great to see Andrew Bogut able to play tonight, particularly Brook Lopez on the other ledger. And for the Warriors, they just continue to play quality defense, continue to make and take big shots, and the back end of a back-to-back on the midway point of a 2-week trip. Bring it on.
Couldn't agree more. We look at Klay Thompson. He's averaging over 20 a game on this road trip. And Bogut not able to play last night. Festus Ezeli played 27 minutes on back-to-backs, and these are short trips and short days, if you will. 5 o'clock game last night, 6 o'clock tonight. You don't get a lot of sleep. And Andrew can defend Brook Lopez out to the perimeter, out to that free throw line where he's so effective.
Our Xfinity starting lineups, first for the Warriors, with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Brandon Rush, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. Brooklyn actually has won 4 straight home games, which is kind of an oddity for a team with 5 wins. Jared Jack, Bojan Bogdanovic, with Joe Johnson, Thaddeus Young, and the Stanford product, Brook Lopez.
Well, Brooklyn started 2-11. Since then, 3-3, but they're coming off a very lopsided loss to the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, where Brook Lopez was matched up against his brother Robin.
And that's one for Brooklyn in the New York metro area when they play the Knicks. That's an important game, and Lionel Holland just said flat out, we laid an egg. Jared Jack loves to score against his former team. A year ago, it was Jared Jack hitting the game winner against the Warriors. Right on cue, missing that 3. And it will remain Brooklyn ball. Lopez doing a good job on the offensive glass.
Well, it wasn't Bogut blocking him out. It was Draymond Green. Bogut had to come up, was up a little higher.
We just saw Andrew hand signal what the Nets out of bounds play was. Talk about the pregame study. The Warriors know what's going on.
No double yet.
Klay Thompson deflecting. And out of bounds to Brooklyn again. Kenny Maurer, Eric Dolan, and James Williams will blow the whistles tonight.
Be nice to get off to a fast start again, set the tempo, especially against this club. They're not a three-point shooting team.
Thaddeus Young missing, and Steph Curry with a rebound.
Glad to see that first miss by Thaddeus. Remember when he did that first quarter?
Oh,
what did he get, 13, 17, somewhere in that nature?
Brooklyn shot 70%. Got out to the big lead at Oracle. Klay Thompson will show and go and dropping it in.
He gets his balance, and he's so long, and then he fades away. You're not going to get to that shot. He's playing with a lot of confidence now, shooting with a lot of confidence.
We highlighted Klay held DeRozan to 5 of 19 shooting. His defense as valuable as his offense last night. Joe Johnson, Draymond Green, speed dribble with the rebound. Setting up Klay again, and his 3 is perfect.
Well, he had a choice. Steph on the left, Klay on the right. I believe they really like to get Klay going early. It really helps his psyche.
Skill of Brook Lopez missing that push shot. Bogut will send Draymond on his way again. And Draymond Green draws the foul. Let's say something here, Jim. You always talk about back-to-backs. You say it's a mental challenge.
Yes, sir.
I like the way the Warriors have approached the first couple minutes of this game. There's an energy and an intensity that's good to see.
Yeah, and you do that, you know, you're just training your mind that, hey, you don't even think about last night. You don't even think about lack of sleep. You just play with energy, and it just comes from within. They're making a statement right here in the opening couple of minutes.
And I don't want to let it go unsaid because you mentioned the schedule oddity. When you play at 5 o'clock, travel and play again at 6 o'clock, those are odd start times anyway,
yes.
And it's about as short a turnaround as you can have. Lionel Hollins, great job in Memphis. 17 seasons as an assistant. Championship as a player with Portland.
He defines laissez-faire. He just does his job, doesn't care what anybody else thinks. And of course, there's been some negativity with their losses this year.
Joe Johnson missing. Klay Thompson with a rebound. And another 3 from Klay.
Early offense. Brooklyn cannot stay with the Warriors in the open court. In early offense situations, they lose concentration defensively. Half court, they're pretty good, but not the way it's going now.
It's been a great road trip for Klay Thompson. Don't forget, the Warriors have another All-Star.
I'm Draymond Green, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Welcome back to Brooklyn. Warriors up 9 on the Nets. Festus Ezeli moved to America when he was 15, and his first home was right here in New York, actually in Queens. But the first 15 years of his life in Nigeria, he didn't yet know basketball. He hadn't been introduced to it. He was more interested in the popular sports, which were soccer and cricket and volleyball. The basketball courts that were available, they were tarred roads, spray painted with court lines a lot of the time. He's working now to teach fundamentals, build facilities and infrastructure, and he said the times have changed now. He was just in Africa this summer. Kids were screaming out Steph Curry's name while mimicking his ball handling drills.
And we also should mention that Brooklyn is special to Roz Goldon Woode. We actually went by Roz's high school and actually the hospital she was born at. Arriving last night, so New York's got a couple different things in terms of connections to the Warriors. Klay Thompson was out of bounds as he caught that and began the move. Jarrett Jack hides behind Lopez, but misfiring there. Steph Curry sensing a seam, and he was tripped a little bit. And the veteran Kenny Mauer did the smart thing. Okay, if it goes in, keep it going. Incidental contact. Reason he missed the shot, illegal contact. Got to put you on the line.
If you noticed over the past couple of weeks, and a little bit this year, didn't see much of it last year, he would go into the lane, Stephen would, and he would complete the shot, a little teardrop or what have you. Now he's stopping and he's understanding the little pump fakes, and he goes up and under bigger defenders with ease and great success.
Now, Steph has missed 3 free throws the last 2 games.
Well, he missed 2 last night early in the game. That's why he made him down the stretch, because he'd gotten his allotment of misses out of the way. So same thing tonight. That just helps you in the fourth quarter, where he's not going to miss.
93% on the season.
That's my take anyway. And that's what he thinks. You got to think that way.
Lopez, pretty skilled for the big man.
I thought Andrew Bogut might squeeze over, but he chose not to do so. Lopez, believe it or not, according to his mother, learned to dribble when he was only 2. He's the more skilled offensive player of the brothers.
Was that a basketball or like a sippy cup?
No, it's a
Which way
basketball.
was he dribbling?
Well, when he was 2, he was probably 4 feet 9.
Jarrett Jack setting up Lopez.
2 minutes. There's going to be 3 seconds. Got it.
There were 3 different passes in the lane, so a violation.
After a termination of dribble and a little up fake. But Brook is the more skilled offensively. And Robin, when they used to play, Robin liked to play defense, and so it just turned out that way, and that became who they were.
I think Robin was a great pickup for the Knicks. He's kind of solidified things inside. Bogut setting up Curry. His 3 is perfect.
Now, why do you get defenders who aren't really helping in the middle stare and get in no man's land halfway between Curry and the action inside, and then they get the ball to Curry? If I'm them, I'm going to stay home.
Thaddeus Young, good movement without the ball.
We see it night in and night out. Breakdowns defensively, and Curry takes advantage.
So here coaches talk about players as ball watchers. Mesmerized by the ball. And that's when you can go back door.
Well, also when you've got Curry and Thompson interchanging, setting screens for each other, the defense gets confused.
Draymond with a steal. And the easiest bucket of the night.
Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Don't let them back in the game. Right at the outset here.
9-0 run to begin. Lionel Hollins took the timeout, and now the Warriors push it to double digits.
Right now, Brandon Rush can just concentrate on defense, nothing else. Joe Johnson's tough inside.
And Brandon played him well. That's short hop, Steph. Missing the 3 there.
Well, Jarrett was covering very well on that one.
Thaddeus Young had the switch, and you see Bogut come help out Curry right away. The Warriors move as a 5-man unit defensively. Lopez able to get inside.
Well, Bogut didn't want to leave his man, but sometimes you have to take the lesser of evils. He didn't want to leave Thaddeus Young, but would help if he'd come over.
Bogut did well just to catch that. Draymond by the big man, couldn't quite reverse it, and Bogut draws the foul. Ball's moving nicely.
Yes, it's all about spacing and passing. I thought Draymond Green had a shot on the short side of the basket, made it a little more difficult going up and under, but that's nitpicking.
Bogut missing the free throw. Remember, tonight's game and all Warrior games on CSN are streamed live at the NBC Sports Live Extra app on your mobile phone or tablet. Stream the Warriors on the go.
In for Brooklyn Nets, number 21, Wayne Ellington, coming in for Bojan Bogdanovic.
Wayne Ellington will check in. Andre Iguodala, along with Stephen Clay, Draymond, and Bogut. Thaddeus Young with Ellington, Jarrett Jack, Joe Johnson. And they give Brook Lopez the rest.
So an empty trip there, unfortunately.
So Thomas Robinson, remember him in Sacramento, remember him in Portland, energy player that you have to worry about on the glass. Bogut remembered just enough, and a couple send-aways by the big man. Klay Thompson and Curry fighting for that rebound. Joe Johnson breaking out of the pack.
I like the way Iguodala picked him up early, and we got a turnover.
Joe Johnson found Jim Barnett, who was wide open, but Jim doesn't play anymore.
Defense inside here. Andrew Bogut swipes it away. But that was all started by Iguodala picking up Joe Johnson out beyond the three-point line and putting pressure and not allowing him to go where he wanted to go.
Draymond, the decision maker right there. And a good recovery by Brooklyn. You saw the play we've seen repeatedly. They blitz Steph Curry. Draymond's the escape valve, and it becomes really a 4-on-3 inside the top of the key.
And there's no hurry to make a play. That's why Draymond Green surveys the situation, can go right, left, or finish it himself.
Steph right down the lane to lay it up and in and draw the foul.
I just I just call this a curl play. You're coming off a down screen, and you can flare out and shoot the jumper, or you can continue. When you see that opening, no one got in his path. A free lane all the way to the hoop, and he uses that left hand, using his body to stay between the defender and him and the ball. Beautifully done. That's textbook. But it's a great curl.
Steph Curry has missed 3 free throws. I don't know if that's ever happened in a game in his career.
Only in junior high, probably. I agree with you. He's not going to worry about it. Nor are we.
Thaddeus Young missing there. Klay Thompson has done an excellent job on the glass here in the first quarter. That's a problem in Toronto, was defensive rebounding a little bit. Draymond Green with a teardrop.
He took advantage. They blitzed Klay on that one. They played Klay like they play Stephen Curry. So Draymond just dropped off and got it back.
Very sharp beginning for the Warriors on offense and defense. Jarrett Jack missing. Draymond another rebound. The trailer Curry and deflected away. So a timeout on the court. 12-point lead. Ball moving nicely. Klay Thompson scoring. And defensively, the Warriors very sharp, limiting Brooklyn to 4 of 17 from the field.
Warriors Pacers Tuesday at 3 on CSN Bay Area and streaming on CSNBayArea.com and NBC Sports Live Extra.
Warrior lead a dozen with 4:11 remaining in the first. Our AT&T U-verse rewind last year, it was the Nets winning. But this year, it was the Warriors in a game they probably should have lost. Iguodala hit that three. Brook Lopez couldn't finish in regulation. And then the Warriors owned overtime. And when you think about winning 21 in a row, if Lionel Hollins would have fouled up three, the Warriors would have a loss.
Well, I talked to Paul Westphal, assistant coach to Lionel Hollins, who's been a head coach in this league in a couple of places before the game tonight. And I asked him specifically about that play, and he said, we told the players to foul, but unfortunately, they went out and played and did not foul. They were told to foul, did not do it. But how about the 8-second violation just prior to that?
Yes.
That turnover really hurt them in the backcourt.
One, I'm glad you talked to Paul. And two, I feel a lot better for Lionel Hollins and Paul Westphal.
Yes.
Because the coaches that don't believe in fouling are the scary ones. The players who don't execute, that's sometimes the life of a coach.
Well, we saw it true life and come in living color last night.
We saw it the last two nights. That's Cleveland and New Orleans. It happens all the time in the NBA. If you don't foul, percentages are working against you.
Warriors defense is superb.
Ellington having that blocked. Klay Thompson is fouled.
What he did there is nice. First of all, he blocks a shot. Wayne Ellington comes back around, and Klay played it perfectly. Gets the outlet pass, and he secured the ball. Rather than just try to catch and go on up, he secured the ball, knew exactly where the defenders were.
What I love about that play is when Klay was initially screened, a lot of guys are recovering. It's a half-hearted kind of wave at the shooter.
Yeah.
And he really exploded to contest that shot.
He pursued to the shooting hand side.
So Barry Larkin's son, Shane Larkin, checking in. And Klay is just having a wonderful first quarter. It's a 10-2 Warrior run. Thompson has a dozen of the 22.
Lionel Hollins looking for somebody to change the game off the bench. They're now 4 of 18 from the field.
Iguodala was helping Klay briefly. There's Iguodala with a beautiful steal and save. Festus, the early rim run, and he is fouled. Klay Thompson and Ezeli are on the same page. You want that big man to run first and then seal, right, Jim?
Well, they're running, yes, and he did. He got down deep as he'd want to get into the lane there. They're executing their game plan perfectly tonight at the offensive end and the defensive end as well. But you can see Brooklyn has trouble in transition. Of course, with the way the Warriors are playing this year, I think everyone's having trouble with transition defense against this club.
Well, one of the things, too, Luke Walton at the breakfast meeting today talked about rebounding. He had 6 guys that have a rebound. You know, everybody who's checked in blue is getting on the glass. I mean, it's been a point of emphasis. And so this team takes things to heart. They knew defensive rebounding was a problem last night.
They've got 7 assists in their 8 baskets. Only 22 assists last night on the 35 made. But how about this? Draymond Green has 4 rebounds, 4 assists already.
Thomas Robinson passed up the jumper, took it to trouble. Iguodala's been very sharp defensively, and what a pass! The cutting Curry, and Andre, the skills of Iguodala perfectly on display.
This is how you dice up the defense with a trailer. Sometimes you get a jump shot, but if you just are patient enough and the defense sags enough, first of all, Iguodala creates the steal. Comes back to the middle, doesn't force things, and Curry keeps running. Shane Larkin never saw him, and you get an easy one. Beautiful bounce pass down the middle.
How many offense initiators do the Warriors have between Draymond, Iguodala, Steph, Klay? I mean, this is really beautiful to watch them in transition in the open floor. Already 11 fast break points. And this is Brooklyn's catching the Warriors' A game right now.
Nick Urin is always reminding them, you know, make 4 or 5 passes if we can in a half-court situation. So right now they don't need to make 4 or 5 passes because they really haven't been slowed down and relegated to half-court basketball yet.
So Nick Urin is the Gene Hackman of the Warrior coaching staff. I want 5 passes before we shoot.
I'm going to check and see if he's from Indiana.
Well, you've got
there he is.
Nick right there in between Theo and Chris DeMarco. And the Warriors, when they get up 15, they've been awfully good in the year plus. Klay Thompson is blocking jump shots. We got Bogdanovich right there,
who's 6'8". Recovers, and he did it with the left hand, so he didn't have to reach across with his right.
Larkin inside, and Ezeli fouling Robinson. Can I ask you a rhetorical question about Klay Thompson?
Certainly.
You think he's healthy and his back isn't bothering him anymore?
That is rhetorical.
And his two-way play on this road trip has been outstanding.
Thomas Robinson, 2 shots.
Steph Curry getting the rest.
If you noticed, I didn't answer because it doesn't require an answer.
Just a great sign for the Warriors as Robinson misses the free throw.
Good foul to give.
Season ticket priority list at 18,500 and counting. And waitlist members get priority access to exclusive presale opportunities. Best available season tickets when they become available. Representatives ready to help you now at 888-GSW-HOOP. Get on that priority waitlist.
Bob, you mentioned earlier on about this crowd tonight. When the Warriors came on the court, they got a tremendous ovation.
Festus is fouled.
It's just remarkable how they're sweeping across the country and gaining fans in the opposing arenas.
Do you think that is success brings fans?
Sure.
But isn't it also the style that they play and then the relatability of so many of the players on the roster?
Yes, of course. And particularly number 30. You can't go beyond that and try to make up too many things. He just, you know, we watch him come to hotels in the middle of the night, 2, 3 in the morning, and there may be 30 people lined up. Today, getting on the bus, he signs a few autographs. He can't certainly do them all, but you just see number 30s everywhere. Golden State Warrior jerseys.
Festus splitting free throws. We check in with Roz.
Yeah, Stephen Curry getting a lot of that attention on the road, and he said he is aware of it, and he says it's the most fun because either he gets to silence the crowd or make new fans for Warriors out of them.
That's why I said last night he actually plays better on the road, and the stats bear it out, than he does at home.
Willie Reed could not finish, but Thaddeus Young does. Now, Reed undrafted, yes. I'll answer it for you, is a cousin of Willis Reed as Ezeli pump fake in the finish and the foul.
Good story, the longtime Knicks center.
Willie Reed out of St. Louis University.
Little bounce pass inside, but again, it's just deep position. Festus is going to learn a lot of things here about the advantage. If he can hustle down and work to get deep position, how it can benefit him at the offensive end. He was so deep, he got the basket, so he didn't have to try to shoot 2 free throws to earn it.
And Reed. It's only the second game he's played.
Yes.
He's been down in the D-League. And Ezeli run the floor, little activity, and the hammer.
Again, it's just movement and not allowing the defense to set up.
They're attacked, and Festus pinned it. Draymond Green on the counterattack. Livingston to Iguodala. He had nowhere to go. He kind of floated through the rim. Klay Thompson 3.
We'd love to have that one back. They're getting any shot they want, the Warriors are tonight, here in this first quarter. Any shot they want.
Well, you hit on it early, Jim. They have spotted the weakness in transition by Brooklyn. They're exploiting it.
65% from the field tonight.
Defensive 3-second violation. That'll be on Ezeli.
This offense has been so fluid. It's scary how well they're executing tonight.
I think
they've taken the wind out of the sails right now, at least for the moment, from Brooklyn.
They already lead the league in assists, But then you watch all that unselfishness and see how many different players can hurt you in different ways. Brooklyn, you're figuring out, who do we stop?
It is beautiful basketball.
And Livingston knocked it away. Iguodala on the handle. There's Ezeli again. That one kind of squirted out of his hands.
Iguodala was thinking about a behind-the-back pass underneath. He thought better of it.
Here, Jack from deep. Festus did well. Good play by Jared Jack. He saved a layup there. He saw that pass the whole way, and Brooklyn can play for one.
Brooklyn's only taken one three-pointer in this entire quarter. Did not make it. As I said, they're not a three-point shooting team.
And Larkin flipping it up and in and drawing the foul.
Well, that'll give them a little life heading into the second.
That's Festus Ezeli. Golden State second, first in the last two. Shane Larkin.
Did a nice job here, Shane Larkin did. Absorbing the contact, jumping in to the defender, but still gets the call, as well he should have, and he did.
Think of New York and Dallas, and now an opportunity in Brooklyn, and now the Nets.
Well, this is the wrong call. Draymond Green knows it. This gives them a chance to get a quick hoop. Always have to see the ball.
Jared Jack to end the quarter. And that will do it. So the Warriors shoot it at 61%. They get 12 from Klay Thompson, 7 from Steph. They hold the Nets to 26% shooting. And it's a 14-point lead at the end of one. Back end of a back-to-back. Tell me who played last night and who didn't.
I'm Andre Iguodala, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the NBA champs.
Beginning of the second quarter, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, and Queens native Rosgold Onwude enjoying that first quarter with the Warriors getting up and down. And Jim, we talk about the great passing. You see the 30 points. They lead the NBA in first quarter scoring. But it's the way the defense is connected to the offense that is fueling all this great point productivity.
There couldn't be a greater example of what we just saw in that first quarter. They're tremendous defense, contesting shots, blocking shots, making steals, and they get out into the court, and then they just tear you apart and execute beautifully and get easy shots.
Leandro Barbosa, Sean Livingston, Iguodala, Festus Ezeli, and Mo Spates.
Check out the assists to the baskets made tonight.
It's always that way.
Just amazing.
Well, it's almost 1-for-1 half the time with the Warriors, it seems. And Ezeli blocking Joe Johnson.
Well, sooner or later, they're going to learn to take away the right hand of Shane Larkin. That's where he wants to go all the time.
Yeah, he's fouled with a 10th to shoot. And we check in with Roz.
JB, Luke Walton would agree with you completely because he was really pleased with the first quarter. In fact, he told his team, guys, the pace is perfect. We're pushing it at them.
I'll tell you, Roz, if Luke wants to keep this job, he better keep agreeing with Jim.
See, that demeanor that he carries with him is just couldn't be better. He's perfect for this team and perfect for Steve Kerr to just carry on that legacy that he's having to do. We don't know how long this year, but he just handles the media so well. He just has a great view of everything that's going on.
Steve set the tone last year and almost coached the coaches as well. And his compadres have carried it on this year. The collective and collaborative effort of the coaching staff has been terrific.
Let's see if these players can play a little better than they did last night. They've got Festus in there, along with Maurice Spates, staying a little big there, changing it up, not going completely small, but the second unit struggled last night.
Well, I think Mo had to play some center because you didn't have Bogut. Now Spates can play alongside Ezeli, and he got plenty of size in there.
That helps, and he can play that power forward and stay on the perimeter a little more.
Aaron Jack attacking, probing. And a corner three rattled home. And so this is not a Brooklyn team, as Jim mentioned, that's going to hurt you from the perimeter.
Second-year player Markel Brown.
second and Brown with Joe Johnson. Jarrett Jack, and this is a small look for Lionel Hollins. Lopez, the one big. And Sean Livingston, the turnaround.
Well, he was the net, and he had such a great year here that the Warriors decided to sign him 3 years ago. Actually did him 2 years ago, but he was good that year before.
Well, he was the reason. Jarrett Jack last year, Livingston the year before. The Warriors have lost their last 2 games in this building. Well, they come here once a year, but it's not been a place where they've had success. No Spades, pick and fade from his buddy Sean Livingston. Love watching the two of them work together.
Yep. It's pretty seamless.
Brown, the second round pick in last year's draft out of Oklahoma State. And Mo is guarding him, that's the mismatch, power forward versus the guard.
The double team on Lopez.
And Lionel Hollins going to use the timeout. The Warriors were scrambling and Brooklyn a little discombobulated. So 9:15 remaining in the half, and the Warrior lead at 15. Livingston and Mo Speights played together in Cleveland, reignited that friendship, and they worked beautifully together. Well, we've talked about it enough. Might as well show you the McDonald's true story. It was Jarrett Jack beating the Warriors a year ago, ended the win streak on the road, and the game winner by the former Warrior. Now, when Jarrett Jack left as the backup point guard, the Warriors had to figure out how to fill that role.
Right.
And really, Sean Livingston became the perfect piece there. He'd come off the nice season with Brooklyn. He's an unselfish player. He has unusual size who could play with Steph and Clay. And chemistry-wise, he's fit perfectly on this team. So that clearly the Ford right choice. Love Jarrett, but Sean has been an even better fit for the Warriors.
Every player in the league loves to play with a player like Sean Livingston because he sees the whole floor. He's very unselfish. He's a good defender. He's got length. He can handle the basketball. He can do about everything. The only thing he lacks is a long outside shot. But no one worries about that because you get more for yourself.
It also
very, very good passer.
Has changed the fourth quarter shooter because Jarrett Jack used to take a lot of the big Warrior shots, and now the Steph Curry guy seems to take those. And Larkin scoring on the other end.
Yeah, this is giving them a little hope. I mean, 11 points is nothing in an NBA game, so Warriors have to get back to getting sharp again. I'll say that about Livingston, too. When he posts up and shoots over people, little fadeaway jump shot, that's a skill that he has developed, and it's not easy.
Shot clock at 5. Barbosa nowhere to go here at 2. He's got to put one up. Leandro does beat the buzzer. And the long rebound to Iguodala. Finding Barbosa in the corner. And at 3, the shooters roll and bounce.
And sometimes you need a little friendly rim.
This group has to eat up minutes.
Yep.
You know, you're playing back-to-back. Draymond, Steph, and Clay exerted a lot of energy last night.
Well, they found an open man. Iguodala did. For Leandro, he's shooting it pretty well this year, and that's a friendly bounce.
All right, now, how did he know Barbosa would be in the corner?
Because they practice that. There's always supposed to be someone. There's always supposed to be someone in the corner.
Okay.
It's almost like a blind pass. Once in a while, they have a turnover that way, miscommunication.
Lopez travels. Now, Steph's substitution's been different tonight. He didn't play the entire first quarter. Luke Walton gave him a blow with about 2.5. And then rested him here, not to the 6-minute mark, but 7:49. And Curry is trying to reactivate and re-energize a little bit. You saw that little sprint. Ely with the baby hook. Iguodala couldn't quite tip it in. Lopez can hit that. Very skilled outside shooter for a big man.
They've done a nice job on Joe Johnson tonight.
Barbosa just shoved out of bounds.
I said Barbosa is a competent three-point shooter. He's at 42% on the year. The Warriors have 6 players that shoot 40 or better.
Now,
and they'd have, if you add Harrison Barnes at 39 plus, you'd have 7.
That foul just illustrated your point, Jim.
Yes.
Why is my center, who just made the 18-foot baseline jumper,
first man back,
have to be back to defend Barbosa and foul him? Where are the other 4 guys in white jerseys in transition?
Those are things that are frustrating to a coach. And coaches, that's a heck of a steal.
Nice steal, Markel Brown, and he will lay it in. Brooklyn's defense has picked up as Larkin and Brown and some of the deeper reserves have played for Lionel Hollins here.
They haven't been played 100 minutes this year. Brown hasn't.
Double Steph in the corner. Sean Livingston rattling out that 3. Hit the big 3 in Utah. That one was online. Brooklyn trying to make it a single-digit game. Warriors had led by 17. Jarrett Jack deflected by Livingston, but Johnson's got it with 5 to shoot. And then taken away. That is Elias foul. Keep holding Brooklyn to 35% shooting. The Warriors are going to be just fine. And defensively, they've been stingy tonight.
Joe Johnson split 2 defenders there. Looked like he was riding free all the way to a basket, and something happened. I don't know whether they missed a call there. He just lost the ball. But Lionel Hollins didn't like it, and he's still talking to James Williams about it.
So Steph and Draymond, Iguodala, Barbosa, along with Livingston. So this is that stealth unit or speed unit. You don't have Harrison Barnes, but going small anyway. Nothing small about Iguodala rising up.
There you go. You get the 4-on-3, the 3-on-2. Perfectly executed. You want to script that, tape that, break it down, frame by frame. You'll see how easy and simplistic it is, and yet effective.
Draymond's got 6 of those 12 assists for the Warriors. In and out of the hands of Reed. It's a 2-on-2, so Iguodala veered out.
That's all right.
And Steph Curry's going to get called for an offensive foul. Larkin kind of holding on to him, and Steph trying to free himself.
Well, the Warriors, the way they're playing, they've been getting the benefit of the whistle so far.
Yep. Iguodala had the dunk, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, tremendous defense.
I like his presence on the court tonight. He's been a difference maker, as he usually is. He likes to go right, folks.
Joe Johnson has been that mid-range post up for a number of years. That's his game.
Well, he's got an enormous salary, and there's rumors of a buyout looming. We'll see how that carries out.
Draymond took that bump, and then Livingston couldn't dunk it down, and he thought he was shoved.
Got to get back on defense.
Jarrett Jack will go to the line, so a frustrating sequence. 5:28 remaining in the half. Brooklyn building a bit of momentum. Warriors, you double Steph. It's a 4-on-3, 3-on-2, and then the dunk. Warrior lead at 10 with 5:28 remaining in the first half. Our Geico Advanced Analytics. I know you've been paying attention, Jim. 3-point shots for Steph Curry on the trip, 21 of 34, and they've come from everywhere around the arc and beyond.
4 of 8 in Utah, 8 of 11 in Charlotte, 9 of 15 last night. And of course, that third quarter in Charlotte when he got 28, he was a perfect 5 of 5, and they got deeper as the quarter ran on. There it is. He's flirting with 50% on the year, 3-point percentage. And let me tell you how big that is. When you've made 111, when you're shooting them, a lot of them, and a lot of them you would say that they're shots that he shouldn't be taking. And as I said before, he has carte blanche to do that because he does make them most of the time. It just defies the game of basketball and what the three-point line was originally set up for. It's supposed to be difficult.
So 111, is that a lot? How many has Brooklyn made as a team?
88. 88.
Just to put that in perspective.
23 more.
And Draymond. The bump in the bucket.
You knew he was going to get the call after the last time out when he talked to the official for about 15 seconds. Just works inside on Willie Reed. Overpowers him. Reed never left the floor to try to block the shot. Let's go back to that, though. Stephen Curry, coming into the game tonight, had made 23 more threes individually than the entire roster of Brooklyn. They haven't had anybody make over 21. That's Joe Johnson.
Basically, Steph has made the 21 on this road trip to lead Brooklyn for the season with his 21 makes.
Let's see if they can increase this lead a little bit going into halftime. You just don't like to flirt with somebody having a single-digit situation.
That was very impressive by Thaddeus Young. A spin move and a very low percentage shot. It went in.
He's been quiet enough, but he can erupt anytime.
Warriors had the 14-point lead at the end of one.
It's all about pace for him here. If they can defend, you can see how it really fuels their offense. It's no mystery.
And Klay Thompson missed the layup. Livingston battling and couldn't get that to go down. Draymond knocked it away. And Larkin knocked it out of bounds.
Livingston saved it there. He knocked it off of Larkin's foot. Klay will think about that one later tonight. He may end up with 38 tonight, and he'll say, I should have had 40. Should have made that layup, but that's a great effort from Livingston.
So Luke Walton decided we're not small enough. Ian Clark has checked in, and Livingston will get a break.
And check Ian Clark's three-point percentage this year. He's a good player.
Draymond three, and he had missed 14 in a row.
Yes, he had.
And that's got to feel really good.
First one he's made on this trip. He was out there from the same spot. Practiced probably about 40 or 50 of them before the game.
Steph moved his feet, and credit Larkin. That's a nice finish.
But still, though, he held up. Steph goes by, and he still came back at the finish with his right. He's a pretty good little player. He's got quickness.
He's got 8 points off the bench. Ian Clark missing that three. Now we'll track it down. No big men really in the game either way.
Yep. They couldn't play with the Warriors' smaller people out there. They were running them off the floor.
Thaddeus Young will get to the line, and we'll see who Eric Dolan pins the foul on. He's going to go against Brandon Rush.
Fouls on number 4, Brandon Rush. That's his first.
I think your point's a good one, Jim. You want to have double-digit lead at halftime here. I mean, you've dominated this game for a large portion of it, but Brooklyn is showing signs of life here in the second.
We saw what happened last night when you have a big lead with Toronto and then you give it away. They did that. They had a 13-point lead.
Thaddeus Young, Philly to Minnesota to here in Brooklyn. Drop it in the free throw. On Christmas, the Warriors will be wearing the special holiday uniforms when they take on the Cavaliers in a finals rematch. Give one of these limited edition jerseys as a gift at Warriors.com with free shipping on orders over $50. Christmas jerseys are nice this year. Free throws down. And it is a single-digit ball game. Klay Thompson taking it in and finishing there. He's got 14.
His first score in this quarter, and Stephen Curry, I believe, is stuck on the same 7 that he had after one.
Young inside. Thaddeus Young likes being a small ball center. He's got double digits. First Brooklyn net to do that. All that attention for Curry. And a little one-foot runner rimming it in.
Softest touch in the league.
Keep getting this Joe Johnson-Curry switch. The rush has got a lurk there. That leaves Larkin open for 3. Klay Thompson, feet set. Yes, sir. The corner three.
He's knocked down his third of the night. What a lift he's given them on this road trip.
17 first half for Klay. Jarrett Jack. Nice finish.
Well, he earned that one in a big way. That's a big-time finish.
2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 2 minutes remaining.
Curry, deep three. And he's got the Barclays Center buzzing there.
Well, he got the screen from Draymond. All the congestion there. He said, I'll just back up another foot or two. They dared him to shoot it. And then all of a sudden, they couldn't believe their eyes.
Thaddeus Young, right shoulder, left shoulder. He changed that this year.
He knows how to score.
Curry doubled. And kind of shove him to the ground. The ball is under Larkin. And Brooklyn comes up with a takeaway. Brown can't finish over Draymond. Credit Larkin. He saved the layup. And that's going to be a 4-point swing.
Well, that ball should have never been thrown. You can't throw it through a defender.
And now another throwaway. And the Warriors need a timeout. How do you give away a double-digit lead in 4 sequences? It's the only thing this team does not do perfectly is sometimes the turnovers get a little out of hand. And Luke Walton's going to talk about it right now. Warrior lead trimmed to 9 inside the final minute of the first half. Our Lexus pursuit of perfection, 21 in a row to start a season, is now a new record for any of the 4 professional sports. And that's where the Warriors finally passed the Maroons of St. Louis. I know you were waiting on that, right?
Well, yes, back in 1884, whoever they were. But, no, it's been remarkable. But I'm more interested in the game right now because 6 turnovers in this quarter. They got to right the ship here a little bit.
For the Warriors, the only difference from a year ago to now is that last year they had 11 games of 20 or more turnovers. They have 7 already of 20 or more, a third of the way. It's not a good sign.
Well, what they've allowed Brooklyn to do, shooting 26% Brooklyn was in the first quarter. But now it's allowed them to get easy shots off of the turnovers, and they're now shooting 45%.
So the Warriors a little casual with the ball and a little careless, and so Brooklyn cuts it to a single-digit situation.
Defense.
So Curry and Larkin. Ian Clark and Jarrett Jack, Iguodala, Joe Johnson. With Thaddeus Young, Draymond Green, Markel Brown, and Klay Thompson. Klay springs free. And it's going to be a 2-for-1 situation. That was the free one. Got a 13-second game shot clock difference. And you got the foul. So not going to be a wonderful way to head into halftime.
I said earlier, the Warriors have taken the wind right out of the sails of Brooklyn, but now the wind is kind of blown the other way.
Now,
and remember, these are all NBA players.
Is this a rip through or is this shooting? And they're going to go to replay to look at whether it's a 3 or not. Kenny Maurer will handle that.
That's his first. The ruling on the floor is a three-shot foul.
So they ruled it a 3-pointer on the floor. Not that far away from Secaucus. They'll set up the same stuff Kenny Maurer's looking at, is very quickly confirmed that it's a 3.
Well, just do a little quick arithmetic. The Warriors have already given up 32 points to this team in this quarter. And it wasn't the starters that brought Brooklyn back. Shane Larkin's had an impact. Markel Brown, who had not even played 100 minutes so far this year, has got 7.
Well, he used a good phrase, giving up, is that the Warriors gave a lot of these situations by carelessness with the ball. So these 3 free throws leave 28 seconds left on the clock to end the half, and this is as close as Brooklyn has been since the very opening of the ball game.
You got a game.
So a 9-0 run here.
You got a wake-up call.
Sitting there with a 15-point lead heading into the half, and now it's down to 6.
I know this team is pretty good about turning it on and off, but you can't always do that.
Klay Thompson down the lane, and another layup goes astray. Final 5 seconds. Joe Johnson, corner 3, and you got a game.
We know it's going in. It's the momentum, the rhythm.
So the final 12 of the half go Brooklyn's way. The Warriors shoot it at 54%, but it's Brooklyn with all the momentum heading into halftime. And so the Nets, with a team that took the Warriors to overtime at Oracle, and it's these same Nets with 12 unanswered that make it a 3-point game. So 3-point lead at the break. Coz and the guys will have something to talk about at our Jack in the Box at the half, with the Warrior lead down to 3. And our Jack in the Box at the half in Brooklyn, inside the Barclays Center, with the Brooklyn Nets and the Warriors. Now, we're at the quarter point of the season, and so when you look at it, the Warriors are playing spectacular basketball. But what about the rest of the Western Conference? We see the Warriors at the top.
Right.
A couple teams are still chasing.
Well, you look at San Antonio. If it weren't for the Warriors, they would be in first place. They're 17-4. You know, it's the same old thing with them. But Oklahoma City and the LA Clippers, you know, they've struggled a little bit early on and haven't found the rhythm. Memphis got off to a really bad start, 2 or 3 games under 500, but now they've righted the ship. You look at Houston, under 500 after 21 games. There are only 6 teams in the West that are over 500. In the East, there are 10 teams, unusually so.
You're going to see Minnesota and Utah maybe have an opportunity in the West this year. And also the scheduling. For the Warriors, when they get back at the end of this trip, 9 games in 16 days, 8 on the road. After that, the next 16 days, only 5 games, Jim, all at home.
Yeah, get to rest a little bit because they're going on such a pace. We'll see how this finishes on this road trip to see if they need to rest some people after this. We'll see how far this streak can go. Hopefully it will continue on into this road trip.
Well, the work only halfway done. The Warriors trying to take care of Brooklyn here at halftime at the Barclays Center with the third quarter on the way. Half with the Warrior lead trimmed to 3. The final 12 points of the second quarter scored by Brooklyn negated a very good Warrior half. They shot it better than 50%, 15 assists on 22 field goals, had the double-digit lead, and then got really sloppy.
Yeah, I don't know what it was that happened because they played a perfect first quarter, but they got in the Christmas spirit and started giving away the basketball, which enabled the Nets to get easy looks, layups with uncontested defenders, and they shot 14 for 18. They allowed 38 points scored in that second quarter. And so all of a sudden the field goal percentage for the Nets is way up there, and the Warriors have a battle on their hands.
Klay Thompson continues his fine play on this road trip. He got them rolling in the first half, our KFC bucket chart. Klay hitting threes, scoring inside, had a couple layups he'd like back, made great drives, just hung on the rim, unable to finish.
Yeah, he finishes with 17 in the first half, Curry with 12, but 19 of their combined points were in that first quarter.
Played really good defense for the most part, but points off turnovers, live ball turnovers, fueled Nets fast breaks.
Absolutely. 6 of them yielded 10 points. Here's the steal by Brown against Barbosa. You go the other way, and all of a sudden, you try to force it through somebody. Stephen Curry can't do anything about that. and then you throw it back, and they steal another one and get 3 free throws out of it.
And Jim mentioned 38 points in the second, 78% Brooklyn shooting. And even from the foul line, Steph Curry missed 3 free throws. Get there 15 times, you got to make more than 6.
We're going to find out a lot about how this game is going to transpire in the first 3 minutes of this quarter, because they know they got a wake-up call.
A little closer than it probably should be. Up 3 with the third quarter on the way. Warrior lead at 3 as we get ready to start the second half. Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Rouse Gold on Wood A. Our Shamrock play of the week. You got to commemorate that incredible third quarter for Steph Curry. This ended the quarter where he shot that from essentially Raleigh-Durham. And Steph 28 in the third on the night they honored Dell. Our Shamrock Office Solutions play of the week. So the Warriors tested here. And the predicament they're in kind of their own making. You think of being up 15 with 2.5, 3 minutes left in the half, and seeing it be a 3-point game. You play with the game sometimes. It comes back to bite you a little bit.
It can, and particularly they were so coordinated together. They were in sync in that first quarter. One of the best quarters of the year at both ends of the floor, and then it all fell apart in the second quarter, and they gave away everything.
Well, that's when you saw 30-16 at the end of one. You would have had really long odds to say they'll give up 38 in the second quarter.
Yeah, the way they were playing defense, but it wasn't necessarily their half-court defense that fell apart.
No.
Sure, you know, Thaddeus Young and the players going to start scoring, but when you give them turnovers that lead to layups, that's something you can try to prevent.
Got an offensive foul on Bogut, setting the screen to free up Steph Curry.
I'm glad to see him out there. He only played in the first half. Just 7 minutes of that first quarter. Andrew, once in a while, he moves a little bit on that screen. And by the way, we just got new emails talking about how they're going to enforce moving screens, and they're not going to be quite so liberal.
Klay Thompson and Bogut squeezing down on Brook Lopez. That'll put him on the line.
Number 11, Klay Thompson, his first.
So Klay will pick up his first. Bogut, Draymond Green, Brandon Rush, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. And Joe Johnson. Markel Brown gets the start here instead of Bogdanovich. Jared Jack, Brook Lopez, and Thaddeus Young.
That's a smart move by Lionel Hollins.
Lopez dropping it in. Well, the holiday hoop plans presented by Jamba Juice. 3 bundles of the marquee games to give. Well, how about Christmas Day against the Cavs, Clippers, Oklahoma City, several other marquee games at 888-GSW Hoop. With representatives ready to help you right now. Get a holiday hoop 3-game plan. My kind of shopping. 1 phone call and you're done. So make it 14 unanswered for Brooklyn after Lopez hits the free throws. Brandon Rush open 3. That ticked iron. Joe Johnson for the lead. Thaddeus Young the rebound. His own rebound again and to the line.
When he's around the basket, he feels like he owns that space. He knows how to score. Left side, right side, and a heck of an offensive rebounder. He gets offensive position on Brandon Rush. Comes back in, quick little bounce. Get his balance, up fake, goes to the other side. And you're going to have crashing bodies, and he goes to the line.
12th pick, back in 07 out of Georgia Tech. And he's just a player that's gotten better. He was so left-handed for so many years of his career, now being able to do things both ways. And spinning right shoulder as well as left. You notice that first time the Warriors played. We have not had a lead change, and with both missed free throws, we still don't. But Brook Lopez, another opportunity for the Nets. Squeezing inside, and there is the Brooklyn lead for the first time.
Well, you let someone just come right to the gut of the defense in front of the rim. And Thaddeus will burn you every time. You've got to fight for position.
16 straight points is ended by Klay Thompson.
They got Markel Brown in there. Remember, he started 29 games last year as a rookie. The most starts by any rookie in the league who was on a playoff team.
This is the three there. Bogut, nice rebound.
He's probably a better defensive player than offensive player. He's a heck of a defensive player.
Well, that's why he's in to try to slow down Klay Thompson.
Yep.
A three offline. For the Warriors, magnificent in that first quarter, but really struggling since. Brooklyn team that feels like they should have had one at Oracle. They probably should have. Steph Curry, look what I found, steal. Trailing Klay Thompson. And Draymond, the rebound and the foul. Now, how do the Warriors get back in offensive rhythm here, Jim?
Fundamentals. First of all, it starts at the defensive end. They've got to get into people. They can't yield shots in the paint. They allowed 20 points in the paint in that second quarter. And they've already started out in this quarter, letting Thaddeus Young get inside, a couple free throws, and that one basket that he made. So it's a cause for concern.
I have an idea what the Warriors will do in Indiana, and that will be working on free throws. They're 17th in the league from the line, and they're 7 of 17 free throwing tonight.
Yep, giving away a few there.
Lopez, little push shot. He and Jared Jack have a nice performance.
Yeah, you can't be content with trading baskets. Now that when you're playing half court, that's the thing too. In the second quarter,
Draymond is fouled.
The Warriors were relegated to half court offense, and that plays right into the hands of the defense of Brooklyn. The Warriors did not get a fast break point in the second quarter.
A couple things happen when you continually foul the Warriors. One, they don't really make you pay from the foul line, other than Steph or Klay. And two, it keeps the game disjointed and without rhythm.
Yes.
And that is a way to grind back into a game. And so for Brooklyn, when the Warriors are ripping and running and playing that high-flying style, they can drop 10, 12-0 runs on top of teams.
Right, and it takes Brook Lopez out of the game. But if you play this way, it keeps the big fella in the game, and he can help him at the offensive end.
So the free throw split again. 8 for 19 from the line. There's Jack.
If I'm the Warriors here, I'm going to run pick and rolls with Brook Lopez. I don't think he can switch very well, and he's not going to come out.
Klay Thompson pulling out that three. Jared Jack creating, this time for Thaddeus Young.
From Jared Jack.
Warriors have to get that little step into their play. Their little fast step and a little confidence.
Klay shot an air ball.
They need a little bounce in the step is what I'm trying to say.
And the body language is dragging right now. And Brooklyn feels like they got the reprieve at the end of the first half. And Young continues to roll. So Brooklyn's biggest lead is right now. Curry down the lane, and Steph Curry to lay it in.
Well, we know he's capable of putting in his hands and putting the team on his shoulders and on his back. But they need a spark.
Lopez missing. Brandon Rush couldn't collect that rebound. And so Brooklyn another opportunity. Bogut really had that taken away. Rush tracking it down.
Bogus back is 100% the way he played on that one.
Steph finding Draymond, and that will be Warrior ball out of bounds.
They're not going to get the call if he's already there. I like the way they changed the officiating rules here.
I mean, to me, that's a perfect non-call. Brook Lopez is entitled to that space.
It goes both ways.
And Draymond launched himself into him. Klay Thompson for three.
That's a beautiful out-of-bounds play that freed him. Just didn't knock it in.
So both teams now shooting 47% for the game. But half court, choppy, no up and down. And Brooklyn's had the advantage. Thaddeus Young, tough take inside. What a basket.
He's done that his entire career.
So 22 and 11 with Thaddeus Young. The ball movement has stopped. And Warriors fortunate.
Klay is looking for Andrew Bogut to step in to give him an angle. But Andrew's not moving that well. The back was stiff. I talked to him before the game. He didn't really give me any clue. I didn't know whether he was going to play or not.
Shot clock at 3. Deflected out of bounds with 1.9.
Isn't it amazing how the momentum can change like that, and it just changes the rest of the game? Well, we'll just see how it plays out. But right now, Brooklyn doesn't even remember they were down by 17.
No, the 12-0 run before halftime changed everything. That out-of-bounds play gives Klay Thompson the layup.
That should give them a little life, a little positive impact on their brain.
Been on the road 8 days. You're playing the back end of a back-to-back. You're trying to dig down defensively and find that energy for a game that you squandered a little bit. Thaddeus Young tracking it down. Joe Johnson. He gets his own miss.
Bogut just could not get off the ground.
And Young missing a 3.
Manage it.
Draymond. What a scoop shot. So Lionel Hollins will use a timeout.
One thing about Draymond, he never loses his confidence.
Well, here comes the Draymond Express, careening down the mountain pass at full speed into your living room with a sleight of hand and the layup.
The next big story that breaks for the Giants or A's will break right here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Ahmed Fareed at the baseball winter meetings at the Opryland Hotel. Coming up in the next week, exclusive one-on-one interviews with Bruce Bochy, Bob Melvin, Brian Sabian, Bobby Evans, Billy Bean, you name it, plus Alex Pavlovich and Joe Stiglitz, all on Sportsnet Central all week long. The center of the baseball universe right here. For basketball, we go back to Fitz and JB.
I'll tell you, that'll be fun. Ahmed there, Nashville, Tennessee. We've already seen Greinke go to Arizona. Samardzija go to the Giants. David Price go to Boston. And there'll be a lot more movement. Get all the GMs together, and the hot stove is cooking.
Let's go Nets!
Back-to-back nights. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Curry and Thompson don't play more than they did last night. Thompson played 35 minutes last night. A little over. Stephen Curry played 38. I'm not sure you can afford to take them off the floor.
Shot clock at 11 after they run the weave. Iguodala an open 3. Mikel Brown will push. Brown and Thaddeus Young. Lopez Larkin now. And Joe Johnson, so Jarrett Jack getting a rest. Lopez blocked by Bogut. Perfect timing. And Curry comes up with a loose ball. He had it knocked away by Larkin.
You've got to be aware where the defenders are. In front of you, behind you, and protect the ball.
Brooklyn, new life in this second half.
Joe Johnson has a mismatch. He knows it.
Curling that out. Klay Thompson will track it down. Bogut, nice touch pass. Curry 3, and those are not falling. The Warriors are uncharacteristically scuffling at 31% on threes.
There's a team that's made nearly 200 and more than their opponent, the Brooklyn Nets, tonight. This year.
And Larkin. Brooklyn up 3. Steph. He ain't going to miss that one.
And they needed that one. They needed it. They need some kind of spark. I'd like to even see some communication verbally out there. They're very, very quiet, rather stoic.
They're dragging right now in the third. You think of the circumstances it would take for the Warriors to be beaten. On the road, back end of a back-to-back, not hitting threes. The other team given new life as Lopez banks it in.
And he did not call that. That was not done with intention.
Circumstances all in line right now for Brooklyn. Long way to go in this game, but the Nets have been good. Curry off iron, falling out of bounds.
And you had people in this arena just waiting for that to go down, and they thought it was going down.
Hey, Larkin, his three does go down. Larkin has been special tonight. Double digits off the bench. He's got 13. And a blocking foul will send Draymond to the line.
You see the entire bench of the Nets getting up off that. They thought that was going to be a charge. They're into the game. You'll see it in the background here. Coming out, Jarrett Jack on the floor. They want to play the part of spoiler.
Kenny Maurer will tell you after the game that wasn't even a hard call.
That's what he's telling Lyle Hollins right now.
Thaddeus Young had not established a legal defensive position as Draymond began the shooting motion. They're slowing down. They're almost always blocks. Rarely are they charges.
Well, they need the free throws from here on out.
Christmas Day, spend it with the Warriors. Watch the Dubs take on the Cavs. Special start time at 2 o'clock. All fans in attendance get the ugly sweater t-shirt powered by Clorox. All at Warriors.com and 888-GSW-HOOP. 2 o'clock start. LeBron, the Cavs, and the Warriors on Christmas. So Draymond hitting both free throws. Brook Lopez gets the rest. So Willie Reed and Ezeli now the centers.
Good matchup, good offense, good defense.
Joe Johnson setting up Thaddeus Young, and he had it knocked away.
You see what he likes to do. He'll take it to trouble because he can find ways to score in traffic in that area.
It's going to be a struggle with 2:44 remaining in the third, and Brooklyn up 3.